These things are very, very well cooked.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. This video is going to be very special because it has been a while, because we are getting back into the 300ZX content. I know it's been a while. It's been roughly 10, 11 months since my engine's been at the machine shop, and I've just been going back and forth with trying to get things done as far as that goes. I'll go into a little bit of detail as to where that stands and where we're at with it. But for today in this video, we will be reinstalling everything, my cams, cam caps, cam journals, the lifters, everything's gonna be going back into the cylinder heads. That way they can be ready to go for when the cylinder block is finished. All right, so the cylinder heads are finally out of the machine shop. Fortunately, he was able to find the few things that I missed, because before I sent them off, if you guys remember, we tore them all down right here. And this table has been here ever since because I don't like moving stuff once it's torn apart. I remove it all, put it in a row as to how it came apart. That way when the cylinder heads get back, I can put it all right back together. However, I wasn't expecting it to be 10 months. Now, when I sent these cylinder heads off, I had replaced all the intake valves. This does have manly exhaust valves in it. I ran into a problem at one point where the manly exhaust valves are a little bit larger than the factory exhaust valves, and basically you need to clearance the valve guides for the manly exhaust valves. Don't just throw them into your motor. I found out the hard way. Fortunately, that wasn't the problem. The problem we ran into were the exhaust valve guides were actually cracked. I think he said there was about maybe 2 of them that were cracked. So he went through and replaced the exhaust valve guides, and actually ended up replacing, I believe, 2 of the exhaust valves on each cylinder head. So that was certainly a good thing that he caught that when he did, because it would have just caused serious problems in the long run. Now, today we're going to be reinstalling my JWT 500 cams. These are the ones that are meant for the factory hydraulic lifters. I did port these cylinder heads right here on this bench, probably, I don't know, 1.5 to 2 years ago, if you guys remember. And we did a pretty heavy port job, if you asked me. Now, as for the engine block is actually not at the machine shop that did my cylinder heads. However, they're the same people that I dropped the block off at. Let me explain. You see, not every machine shop can carry every piece of machinery needed. Sometimes they outsource, sometimes they share equipment with other machine shops in the area. I just found this out, believe it or not. So basically what happened with my particular setup is, because I have the MazWorks main caps, they've sent the bottom end off to another machine shop to do the line boring. However, now the problem is this other shop is kind of holding my motor hostage. And no matter how much we call and push for them to do it, for some reason they're just pushing it off to the side and getting other stuff done. I don't know what the deal is. Basically, that's all we're waiting on. Once the line boring gets done, we can start on other things. And in the meantime, I have actually accrued other parts for a second motor. The whole reason I went with the machine shop I did is because it's the same one that the current street chassis record holder uses for his own setup. However, him, like me, likes to do as much as he can himself. So yeah, and being that he was only about 1.5 hours away from me, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. However, I found somebody else locally who is only 30 minutes up the road, who is more than willing and very capable, I believe, of taking care of what needs to be done on these motors. So in the meantime, I've accrued an entire second set of rotating assembly here. I have, it's a more budget setup, but it'll work just the same and get just what I want done. And we're gonna do it a little bit differently this time. You just gotta kind of trust me on this. So what I have here is a set of 87mm wide stroke pistons, pretty run of the mill. We are gonna run the original wrist pins on these, not the upgraded ones, and a set of scat rods that are just pretty run of the mill, right? Nothing crazy, nothing out of the ordinary. However, on this setup in particular, we are not going to be using billet main caps. Now, a lot of you are probably screaming and kicking and yelling at the TV saying, Billy, why would you do that? You just had your crank snap in half, blah, 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 blah. The crank snapped in half, not because the main caps broke. The main caps did not break on mine, the girdle broke. Now, granted, the block did crack, but again, the caps did not break. And pretty much what we're thinking of now is just running some upgraded main studs with the factory main girdle. Believe me on this one, I really think this is it. This is gonna be the ticket. We don't need the billet main caps on these motors. What's more important at this point are these guys. Now this is a Darton sleeve. Believe it or not, the Honda H22 has the exact same cylinder diameter and a relatively similar deck height to the VG30. This is what a lot of the guys are running. Now this is the one with the little lip on the top. They do have ones without the lift. It is a dry sleeve, not a wet sleeve. So yeah, pretty much what we're gonna be doing is pulling apart another motor here in the very near future, probably not this video, maybe the next video. And we're gonna be sending this motor off to the machine shop, assuming that everything is good in it and I won't have to source a crankshaft from somewhere else. That would really suck. So that's gonna be the gist of that motor when the time comes. I probably go in a little bit more detail later on as far as the main caps go, but that's gonna be pretty much the run-of-the-mill 1,000+ horsepower VG30 setup. It's nothing crazy, literally rods, pistons, and then instead of billet main caps, sleeve it. Because around 800 to 900 foot-pounds of torque, you're gonna start cracking the cylinder walls. Now, some of you may get by, a lot of people have gotten by without needing any of that, and you probably will be fine for a while, but one good 4th gear pull at the top of the RPM on a cold day, you'll probably split a cylinder wall. Now, some may not need cylinder sleeves. I may not need cylinder sleeves, but do I know? No. Would it be nice to have the peace of mind? Absolutely, and that's why we're doing it. So with that said, let's get into today's video, and we're simply going to be reinstalling the cams into these heads and getting these heads ready to go on the new motor. Okay, so for starters, I'm gonna have to clean off all this stuff really well. I'm starting with my lifters. We got our engine assembly lube right here. Basically, it needs to be cleaned off exceptionally well because I got my salt tank right there. They've been up here for I don't know how many months now. It's just not a good look. So we're gonna start with cleaning these off really well. There we go. Now, these lifters were actually thoroughly cleaned out, I don't know, probably not even 10,000 miles ago. So it's not like the more power they see, the more stress they see. These only experience more stress through pretty much bigger springs, which I have, but again, hasn't been too many miles, so they should theoretically be okay. Now, ultimately, a parts washer would be perfect right here, but again, working with what we got. Do a little bit of assembly lube. Get it all the way around the outside for the peace of mind. Assembly lube pretty much prevents the engine from dry starting. Now, I actually pressurize my engine with oil before I do any kind of first start. I'm just trying to go through and do all these actually. Here we go. That one. And last but certainly not least, there is that one. Just come through here. All right, I did want to mention there is actually supposed to be a little sliver of liquid gasket. I use Honda Bond, don't hate, on my Nissan. It's supposed to go right there. It's just supposed to go from the front of this lip on back to about right there. That's it. So basically I'm gonna put up here a little snippet of what the service manual shows. It shows it going up in here and then down or up a little bit. I'm not gonna worry about that because if you look at the cam cap right here, there's a little cut groove right there. So basically what I wanna do is I'm gonna fill that groove right there and right there. I think anyways, yeah. So once this gets crushed on, that groove will get filled up and I'm pretty sure that's where they want the RTV to stop. So yeah, and actually you can see a little bit of leftover right in there. Let's clean these up. We'll get the camshafts put in and these will go right on top of the camshafts. All right, so now I'll take these. And just want to make sure we get every little bit cleaned off here. Now these rags will leave, they can leave a little bit of a residue, like some cloth, so you really want to keep an eye out for that. I usually like, that's why I wear the latex gloves when I'm doing this, because afterwards I can just go over it and wipe it with the gloves to get any kind of cloth material off of them. These look good. There's that one. Starting with this one. Yeah, that'll work just fine. And then just clean out the RTV from the inside. Okay, and one quick thing here. I'm gonna go into a little bit more detail on it this time around, because when you're putting the cam caps in, you wanna make sure that you have the right side. Not only do they have to line up, I actually noticed I had it flipped around. So this one here says I4, and for instance, I for intake, and the exhaust one will say E4 right there. Don't get them mixed up in that way. And being that my intake is over there, we're going to make sure this is clean, and we're gonna start tightening these all down, hopefully before the RTV settles in. That you start in the middle. Now, personally, I don't recommend using power tools. Use hand tools, especially if this is your first time doing anything like this. I'm using power tools because one, I know my tools, and two, I know what to look for should anything be out of whack. And last but certainly not least, my RTV just blew apart on me because it's probably a little old. Ugh, I don't know how this is gonna turn out very cleanly. I don't think it's gonna turn out clean at all. I might just end up throwing this away, if I'm being honest. That looks pretty, that's not even, ugh, this is so bad. All right, this is getting thrown out. Alrighty. Here we go. We're just gonna tighten these down the same way we do everything else. All right, one cylinder head is pretty much done. I do have to find these guys. These were from my R35 cold pack brackets. I hope they're here still, but I'm not 100% sure. They might have gotten lost at the machine shop. Okay, simple rinse and repeat. Pretty much the same thing over here. And if you can't remember for some reason, this is the side that takes the camshaft position sensor. And it even has the little thing inside the exhaust camshaft. So that's how you know you got the right one, or if you're confused at all about what goes where, look for that guy. This one, this one, put a little sliver of it right along there. Same thing there, and there, and there. freaking light. All right. Whew. One more thing. All right, you guys, wrapping up this video here for today. We got the heads complete. I got my entire table finally cleared off. I have a little bit more room now in my garage. Thank God, because it's been forever. And if you didn't notice, I got another engine here. It's being torn down right now as we speak. This is probably about a week later, the morning that this video is going to be posted. Basically, we've got another engine we're tearing down, so stay tuned to the next video. Doing things a little bit differently this time because it's kind of like a POV teardown. I really think you guys are going to enjoy it. The heads are officially done. They are wrapped up and waiting for the cylinder block, which again, once I get this torn down, we'll send it off to the machine shop. And hopefully this other guy or the other, one of the two is bound to get done sooner rather than later. This sucks, I'm having to do it this way, but in the end, it'll be nice to have a backup or a spare motor. That way I can pull one out, refresh it, and put the other one in pretty much like that. So it'll be really nice when it's all ready and kind of got the ball rolling with it. So, and of course, if you guys haven't already and you enjoyed this content, I'd greatly appreciate it if you head over to the website. Remember, billybuildswithad.com. Thank you all so much for those of you that have purchased stuff from me recently. Really keeps me motivated. I got big plans going on right now. We got a shop build coming up very soon. I got 2 engine builds going on. Supra's turbo should be back also very soon. So I think I'll have this engine video up before the Supra turbo video goes up. So we just got a lot going on right now, but thank you all so much for watching. We'll catch y'all next time. Take care.